So yesterday, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died from complications due to pancreatic cancer. Although she was appointed by our first pro-abortion president, Bill Clinton, and she was probably the most pro-abortion justice ever to serve on the Supreme Court, I've always made it a practice to pray for her repentance and her conversion, and now I'm praying for her soul. But despite all that, there are a few things that I did admire about this justice I'm going to share with you. And I'm also going to share with you the cultural ramifications I think this poses, and I'm going to make a recommendation to the president who he should appoint or nominate to replace her. So first off, the one thing I respected about her is that she was old school in the fact that she could have a friend, a close friend. From all the reports I've seen over the years, her best friend, Antonin Scalia, the most pro-life conservative Supreme Court justice we've probably ever had. And although they never voted together, I don't know of one case where they voted together. I'm sure there had to be a couple. But generally, she was on the far left of the court, he was on the far right. And Scalia was a practicing Catholic, devout Catholic. In fact, one of his sons became a priest. Rock solid originalist judge, which I mean, and when us conservatives say we want conservative judges, we don't give them a litmus test. Okay, what would you vote on this? What would you vote on that? The test is simple. Are you going to interpret the Constitution, or are you going to rewrite it to what you think it should be? Are you going to interpret the law Congress passed, or are you going to interpret it the way you think the law should have been written? That's the difference between liberals and conservatives. But the thing, again, getting back to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, although her and Scalia disagreed on everything ideologically, politically, judicially, they were very close friends. They celebrated major holidays together every year. They went to the opera together. Friends say they were always joking and laughing, busting each other's chops. They just, some people you just get along with. And if you're an adult, you don't let issues like political and religious things get in your way of your friendship. I mean, that's how it's always been until recently. I mean, I remember Ronald Reagan, most conservative president of our lifetime, would battle with the Democrat Congress constantly. I mean, he didn't have a Republican supporting cast, so everything he got through, he had a battle with the Democrats. And although they would fight vigorously for their positions and for the laws they want to pass, every Friday night, he would take Tip O'Neill, who was the Democrat Speaker of the House, out for a few drinks. And they'd laugh, they'd joke, and they compromise on issues. He would say, listen, I need this. And Tip O'Neill said, no, I can't get you that. And they would work and they would come to a middle ground. And that's how life used to be with most people, and how it is still today with a lot of us. I have friends today that are liberal ideologically, that think the Catholic Church is the whore of Babylon. I even have some friends that actually believe the media still has journalists working for them. But we're able to be friends because, these are just our ideas. We can disagree. Sometimes we talk about the ideas and we go back and forth and debate, and sometimes we talk about other things. Talk about sports, talk about the fights, talk about our family, talk about work. There's a lot of things you can agree with people, and you don't have to argue because you disagree on certain issues. And that's one of the reasons I got off Facebook. I was on Facebook for a short time years ago, and I was like, wow, like people are so close-minded and get so angry these days. And I think it all started, I don't know if it all started, but I seen it happening in the 80s with Ronald Reagan. Had a really conservative president, and the liberal / Marxist professors were telling their students, what these people are preaching is hate. They're Nazis. Don't listen to them. In fact, don't even give them an opportunity to talk. So basically, teaching them to be against free speech. And you see it in the 80s. I remember Edwin Meese, Attorney General, went to Yale and they shouted him down. So as he was speaking, all the students were shouting so nobody could hear him. And it became a thing called shouting down. And in all the colleges, even our president of the United States was shouted down. I've seen it a dozen times in the 80s where these left-wing students, brainwashed by their left-wing professors, would just shout down the opposition. They wouldn't even want to listen and debate them. There were some they were willing to debate, and the students don't even want to debate. They don't want to hear it. I mean, it's even today, Ben Shapiro, an Orthodox Jew, was shouted down at a liberal university, and the students said they didn't want to listen to him because he was a Nazi. This is how naive these students are, An Orthodox Jew, he's a Nazi. It was so offensive to him because I believe he has ancestors who died in the Holocaust, so it was extremely offensive. But this is where we're at, just name calling, and no one's willing to listen. So Ruth Bader Ginsburg, like I said, I respect that she was an adult that could be friends with someone she disagreed with ideologically, but also she was, she believed what she believed, and nobody was going to change her mind, and she fought for what she believed, and she kept going. No matter, she overcame adversity. She has cancer since 1999, and she never quit. She never retired. She kept fighting on. People were trying to get her retired, trying to get her to quit, and she just kept going, fighting and fighting. I mean, physically, she would still work out every day. There's a lot to admire about this woman and respect. And on her side, she made a big impact. She convinced a lot of women it's their right to kill their babies up to the 9th month of pregnancy. I mean, that's a big thing to be able to convince a woman to kill her own child up until the 9th month, that it's their right. So although I totally disagree with that, I have to give her props for being good at what she did. Now, we have a chance to change not only the votes on the Supreme Court, we have a chance to change the culture. And I'm recommending Amy Coney Barrett. I'm recommending Trump nominate her because not only will she be a solid originalist, and if you're an originalist and you look at the Constitution, you see there's no right to abortion. So she would be this would be a great opportunity for the court to overturn the unconstitutional law, Roe v. Wade, and then it would bring it back to the states. And then the people closest to the issue can debate it. And I honestly believe that one day, and Lord willing, it'll be in my lifetime, I'm 54, maybe it won't be, but Lord willing, one day, America will look back on abortion like we look back on slavery and say that was so wicked and so evil. How could our nation have allowed that for so long? I mean, between science, you have to be a total science denier to say that's not a baby. They used to say it was just a piece of tissue, but now that argument is null. With the science, with 4D, ultrasounds, everyone knows that's a living human being in the womb. So now we just have to change the culture's mind, and I think Amy Coney Barrett would be the one. She's a young woman, well, young to me, she's 48, but she's an intellect, very bright, very articulate. So if she becomes the conservative version of RBG, going out talking to young women, telling them, listen, that's a baby in there. There's dignity in raising your child. And I think she can make an impact on the court and on the culture. But the gates of hell are going to come at her. Oh, they're going to come at her. And a lot of people don't pay attention to the lower courts. But when President Trump 2 years ago or 3 years ago nominated her to a circuit judgeship, the power of hell came against her. Because here she is, devout Catholic, also a charismatic Catholic at that. So the liberals' heads are exploding when they hear this woman's a tongue-talking Christian. Not only that, she is so pro-life and so pro-family. She has 5 children of her own and 2 adopted children from Haiti. And another reason I think Trump should appoint her is because now people will be paying attention, and the Democrat Party will be shown for who they really are. Because when I watched her nomination to the circuit court, I could not believe what I was hearing. So-called moderates, these Senator Dianne Feinstein and Senator Dick Durbin, considered moderates today in the Democrat Party. And Feinstein attacked her Catholic religion. It was unbelievable. She said, what worries me is that you call yourself an Orthodox Catholic, that you actually believe all the Catholic dogma, that your dogma lives loudly in you. Wow, that concerned Dianne Feinstein. My head almost, I was like, are you serious? And Dick Durbin said the same thing. It doesn't bother me that you're Catholic, but you say you're Orthodox Catholic. Some Orthodox Catholics don't think Pope Francis is Orthodox enough. Do you think Pope Francis is a good Catholic? This is what they're questioning a Supreme Court, it was a circuit court judge. And she said, yes, I think Pope Francis is a good Catholic. And then finally, someone with an adult in the room, Ben Sasse, who's been critical of President Trump. He's a Republican, but he's been very critical of President Trump. He's no, Trump lover. He was like, whoa, you senators, you're violating the Constitution. There should be no religious test for any public figure in America. They were giving her a religious test. So I think it's going to be even harsher because they're not going to want her on the Supreme Court. So I would recommend President Trump, you nominate Amy Coney Barrett. And a lot of people say there's no way, there's not enough time. Well, let me remind you, George W. Bush got John Roberts, our Chief Justice, confirmed in 19 days. So it can be done. I mean, the Democrats are going to throw everything out there. They're going to make up stories about her. Who knows what they're going to do. And the forces of evil are going to come against her. I mean, it was no coincidence when Donald Trump came down that escalator that an artifact, an idol of Baal, the Baal, the idol that the pagans in the Old Testament would sacrifice babies to, collapsed. I mean, was that a sign? I don't know. It's pretty. It was there for 2,000 years or 3,000 years, and it collapsed that day. He came down the escalator. So I don't know if that was a sign or what, but it is pretty coincidence. And when Judge Kavanaugh was being confirmed, the Washington Museum brought out some displays, and their biggest display they put in front of the Supreme Court was a replica of the idol Baal. So was that a coincidence? I don't know. But I do know that the demons live on the blood of unborn children. And I do know that this is a spiritual battle, and all these pro-choicers are going to come out so hard against anyone he nominates. This is going to be a battle like you've never seen before. But by the grace of God, that Supreme Court nomination, in my opinion, will be confirmed. And that's going to be the thing that pushes Trump over the top. Because there were a lot of Christians when Trump ran the last time that didn't like his personality. But when he actually was the first president to give a list of judges he would pick, they voted for him. 87% of evangelicals and like 60% of Catholics. Now that he fulfilled that promise, that he actually picked from that list, I think he's going to probably get over 90% of evangelicals and over 90% of Catholics. And that's going to be the deciding factor. So again, this is a battle for a culture. Do you want a culture of death, or do you want a culture of life? Let's pray. Pray for RBG Soul. Pray for our nation, that we get through this like adults, that ultimately we will have a pro-life originalist justice appointed that will help overturn Roe v. Wade. And one day we'll all look back at abortion and say, wow, how did we allow that evil to exist in the greatest country in the world? God bless.